Is anyone you know truly happy? Even those that are married with a house and a family, they're probably the most stressed. Sometimes when I look at buying a house and I look at relationships, I say, man, most people I know, that causes them the most stress. And so as I get older in life, I try to, remember to keep things as simple as possible. I remember that nothing is 100% perfect. I see the destitute in society. I see the rich who are still somewhat unsatisfied, unhappy. Certainly, you need enough resources for your basic needs. Certainly, you should always remind yourself what your basic needs are and keep yourself positive that way. Like I always tell you, even the poorest among us in a first world country, no one starves to death. So that's something to be positive for. You're probably going to eat today. The other thing to be positive for is that in a first world country, there's opportunities to do things. Um, the other thing to be positive for, obviously, is your health. The other thing to be positive for is you made it through another day. What are we talking about now? Is this a bunch of mumbo jumbo? No, look, this is what I tell myself. Okay, just try to get through each day. Okay, and that's what I do on these live feeds, is I kind of reflect on my thoughts and give you the struggle psychologically. Psychologically, there's a struggle. Twister, great to see you, man. What's up, brother? Keep showing up. Never forget it. Psychologically, sadness, depression, anger, fear, all these things are part of life, right? So that's why I always tell you manage your time, because if you don't manage your time, you're going to spend a lot of time obsessing over these things, and you're going to be depressed, and you're going to be napping, sleeping, and oversleeping, overnapping, and all that is a way to cope with the pain. It's like, instead of how I deal with the pain of life is I structure my day, keep myself going. Because then I get through the day, and even if there's some things that I'm still struggling with, and we all are, at least I said, well, I woke up early, I went to the gym, okay, I was productive, I did what I need to do for work or my creative ventures. I went to the beach, I went for a walk. Okay, so now I'm at the end of the day. Is everything in my life 100% perfect? No, but I got through another day and I did the things I would do if my life was perfect. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the mindset of trying to stay positive, stay productive. Okay. I remember I dated a girl. She was going through a breakup, and I was there consoling her, trying to get with her. But I remember she was saying, I have to keep busy, okay, to keep my mind off something. And obviously that was a little bit of escapism. She eventually went back to that guy. So make a mental note, okay? I don't care how nice you are. People like who they like, okay? And they don't like you, because if they like you, they be with you, okay? They just need your emotional support. You're an emotional support dog. Uh, you can't change what people are passionate about. You can only change yourself. Never forget that. And look, I always tell you guys, most people I know, their unhappiness is tied to a relationship and or their house. But they also can't be alone, and they're not going to be a nomad. So they're stuck in this paragon or whatever you call it. Now, look, I'm stuck in a dilemma where I really don't want to be always in the public, but I hate commitment. I hate, all the entanglements of property. So, but, again, so you sit here, you can struggle with things your entire life. You can roll around your bed. You can take more pills. You can have more drinks of alcohol. For me, healthy, positive, productive day, time management, healthy food, push yourself to the next thing. Do I want to go live? Do I want to do this? Well, look, I'm going to do it because I'm pushing myself to do it. Okay. That's a little bit too how you stay positive. Because then when you don't do anything, then you feel more negative. Never forget that. That's why you show up, do what you got to do. Even on the bad days. Okay. Twister. Once you become a service dog, you will be yanked around by your leash the rest of your life. Sam 2020, 2022. Now, it's true. Look, I've experienced it on both sides. When you feel depressed that, you're getting the raw end of a relationship, remember, there was some ugly person that wanted to be with you and you didn't want to be with them. They were, so you kind of treated them like, get away from me, you service dog. I don't want to be with you. So we've been on both sides of that, okay? Or at least you will be if you live long enough, because no one is so desirable that everyone wants them. And it's just the way life is, It's like everyone breaks hearts and everyone gets their hearts broke. And if you remember that in life, then you can stay positive. And everyone experiences death. Everyone experiences sorrow. Like, you can say, well, I'm going to make myself sad because my spouse, my parent, my child died. All those things are real, and I haven't experienced all those things, so I get that. But what I could tell you is when I role play in my mind, because sometimes you can get negative thinking, well, this person's going to die. I'm going to break up with this person. This is going to happen. And sometimes it does, and it does. And I've lost people. But what you got to remember is when you start to get so sad is other people have lost just as much or more than you. So it's not like, you can allow yourself to stay that negative. I remember when Mike Tyson lost his infant child. It died on a treadmill accident. And when Mike Tyson was interviewed after his child died, his infant child, he was interviewed. One thing I like about Mike, he's honest. Not to say he's always right and everything, but he's very honest, very insightful man. And they asked Mike, they said, what happened after your child died? How'd you feel? He goes, well, to be honest with you, he goes, I wanted to get my gun and do a mass shooting. And the interviewer said, why? They had nothing to do with your child's death. He goes, it has nothing to do with that. I want them to feel the pain I felt. On some psychopath stuff. That's what many people feel. And so the interviewer was like, draw back, but he appreciated his honesty, like I appreciate Mike. He goes, all right, well, why didn't you shoot people up? He goes, well, I didn't shoot people up because when I was walking around in the hospital, I saw other kids, other young children dying in the hospital on like incubators. And it reminded me that I'm not the only one that has experienced loss. I'm not the only one that goes through hardship. And that was enough to keep me positive enough not to do real negative things. Remembering that you're not the only one going through a negative thing will keep you positive. At least positive enough to not go too negative. See, guys, I don't think, in my mind, we should walk around like Joel Osteen. But if you're Joel Osteen, walk around like Joel Osteen. But for me, it's like I'm always cautious of someone who's too positive, right? Like I met a chick in Starbucks a couple weeks ago. She was too positive. And I say, you're too positive. When you get mad, you must really get mad. She goes, well, there is a yin and a yang. And I say, all right, but I get that. But I respect that. I still respect that she's positive. Believe me, I don't want to go in Starbucks to see a negative person. Yeah, I don't see that. So remember, when in doubt, be more positive. Now, I tell you guys, when I get negative, I like to be by myself. Why? Because I don't like to bring negativity to other people. One of the worst parts about YouTube is I don't like when I hurt people on YouTube, but I'm also not going to keep unhealthy relationships where you're going to agitate me again, I'm going to lash out at you again, and then we're going to repeat the cycle of abuse. But I don't like that part of YouTube where I know there's been some people that watch me, that they enjoy me, but I've said something that hurt them. I don't like that. I like to be positive and an encourager. But I also spend most of my time by myself because I don't, I just want to be responsible for me. I don't want to be responsible for a dog. I don't want to be responsible for a person. I don't mind helping, encouraging, being with, but I know my limits. Okay? And that's why I never have a dog again, even though I'm thankful I had a dog. And even the house thing I struggle with at times, sometimes, because of that, but look, this is the psychological tennis match that you play with yourself every day to stay positive. Because if you don't hit the ball back, right, the negative tennis balls, they coming at you. Okay. And so you got two options. Either you just become get hit by tennis balls and you get knocked on your ass, or you swing back and say, all right, well, at least other people have bad things going on too in their life. So like Mike Tyson, remember, other people lost their child. And then you go, well, at least I got my job. And then you go, oh, at least I got my health. And then you go, oh, at least I got a car. And then you go, oh, at least I got a phone. And then you go, oh, at least I'm in a first world country. Before you know it, you're hitting a lot of tennis balls, okay, back at negativity, and now you're swinging positive. What are we talking about? How to get through a day. What is life? A series of days. And if you don't show up, guys, then you're depressed because sleeping is a coping mechanism, naps, for depression, mental illness. And everyone I know who sleeps more, on average, more than the recommended 6 to 8 hours per day, with exceptions for seniors or really disabled. But even when I talk to my mom, when she sleeps too much, not good. My mom's, she's thinking about something now. It's a very little thing, but she's stressing. and she eats it and she goes to bed, and it makes it worse. And I understand it, but I'm not going to tell her too much because I accept her. But I also, that's what I'll tell you guys too. Like today, this happened when I first came to Florida, but today I went to get my salad. And I ordered the salad, and I always order the dressing on the side because when I got my health together, I learned never have someone else put salad dressing on your salad because they're going to put too much and then it's going to be soggy. And if you ever look at the person preparing your food, remember, if an overweight person is preparing your food, whether your mother, whether a server, they're preparing their food for how they are as an overweight person. Okay, and so, you got to remember that. So I always say, and I even put it in the computer thing, I want my dressing on the side. And they put the wrong type of chicken in it, and they soaked my salad dressing, and they didn't put it on the side. I didn't notice it until I got to the car because I didn't check the bag, which I tried to check, but I forgot to check. So now I'm in the car. There's a big line. I'm not going to go back in the store to get another salad, even though I could, but I was like, fuck. And so now I was upset that my mom called. Your mom always called at bedtime, and I was like, Mom, I'll call you back. And that's how I can never live with someone because just that made me so negative that hearing someone else's voice makes me upset. And that's why I tell you, you gotta have your personal time, gotta have your personal space. I will live alone as long as I can the rest of my life. I don't want to live with other people. Okay. But that's why you work. If you don't want to work, hey guys, you'd say, well, I don't want to work. I want to be a lazy psychopath. Hey, well, all right, go ahead. You got to deal with other people, shared apartment or whatever you got to deal with. Now, there's some success stories there, but, Twisted. Sam, it's funny you mentioned that Mike Tyson story. I often anticipate how broken I will be when my mother dies. Yep, so I wanted to share that. I feel that too. To help me understand this anxiety, I reflect on how others around me have dealt with death. Yep. And I think to myself, I'm sure since the dawn of humanity, there has been billions of people who have loved their mothers just as much as me and have gone through the same thing. Well, here's something even more. There's been a lot of people that lost their mother way earlier than you. And God forbid your mom dies. I hope she doesn't. But there's a lot of people that didn't live to their 20s and still have their mom. My mom's mom died when she was like 10 or 8. My mother's mother died of cancer at like 8. And so, she spent most of her life without a mother. So, I've known people that their parents passed. I'm getting to that point in my life as I get into my 40s here, where in your 40s and 50s, that's when your parents, if they live the average life expectancy, pass away. Because the average life expectancy is 80. Okay. And, if, the average person has a child between 20 and 30, when you're 40 to 50, that's when your parents pass away on average. And so that's part of your midlife crisis, or, you know what I mean? This is, it's like you're not young where your mom's coming to pick you up for basketball camp. Okay. And like everything's positive. Like, all right, where are we going for dinner? I can't wait to hang out with my friends. When you're in your 40s and 50s, now you got your own responsibilities, maybe your own family or your own shit. And you got to deal with the fact that, you may have to be a caretaker. Shout out to our guy, Adam, who's caring for 2 parents that have dementia. What's worse than having someone die? Watching them suffer. That's, I've seen that, and that's tough. So look, we're trying to stay positive, guys. We got through another day. Show up even when you're upset, as long as, you've done self-care. You got to do self-care. When I always tell you guys, I'm 41. When I was in my 20s and I had like 3 different businesses going, I said, all right, I'm getting burnt out, and volunteering. I said, I'm getting burnt out. Let me fall back to just my main job and maybe one other thing. Okay, so you got to sometimes reorganize your life to prioritize your life, okay, so that you can stay positive. Because if you put too much stress on yourself, you're going to get negative, and everything that you're responsible for is going to go to shit, and then you're going to be in trouble. Okay, Twister. I read that already. All right, let's take a hydration break. Twister, you're hot in the live chat. Shout out to all my members. You want to be a member, click that blue join button. Remember, it's only 33 cents a day, and you can cancel at any time. I still think that's a great deal, and you're still not obligated. So either way, it's a go. Twister, that too. That sometimes something I'm very thankful for. I always remember this guy in my class from 6th grade whose mom's died. We were probably like 11. Yeah, you'll remember that, because I remember I worked in a pizzeria, and this good-looking chick, her mother, Twister, it's funny you mentioned that. So I remember I worked in this pizzeria for a short period of time, And there was this good-looking younger girl, and I think she was like a senior, and her mom came to pick her up one day, and her mom were arguing. So, like, the next week, I didn't see the girl in the pizzeria. So what happened to the girl? She quit? And he goes, nah, her mom died. And she was out for like 2-3 weeks. Understandable. But what was really painful for her emotionally was that her mom died like right after they had like this big argument, petty shit. But I've known a couple people, they lost their parent right after a very, argument, which we all have. And I will often say, like, it's only by the grace of God that if your parents live long enough that you're able to work past them. Because, I've got an argument often. So, it's tough. When you lose people young, you don't get a chance to mature and to right the wrongs, or whatever it may be. So, good job, Twisted. Do I like commitment? No. Commitment gets me a little negative. I get anxiety when I think about committing. And that's why I'm stuck in a cycle of not buying anything. You say, well, I don't know if that's wise. Well, again, if I was 61, my mindset would be different. But at 41, I always lean on not buying because just like, I don't know, man. I deal with some pain, though. But we'll see. We'll see. David, what's up, brother? He goes, my friend's mom just passed away. Sorry to hear that, from COVID. Everyone's getting COVID now. A doctor said when this first started, everyone's going to get COVID. It's just a matter of, are we going to overflow the hospitals? And that's the whole reason for the vaccines. Not that you're not going to get COVID if you have a vaccine, but 90% chance if you're vaccinated, you're not going to go to the hospital. And that means the nurses are not going to, and the doctors and the maintenance people, they're not going to get burnt out. And if you get in a motorcycle accident and someone's dying from COVID, there's going to be enough ICU beds. That's the whole point. Everyone needs to be reminded. So, but the bottom line is everyone's going to get COVID if they haven't already got it. It's, that's why they were just buying time. And that's what I was saying. We're going to have to learn to live with. Remember the Spanish flu in 1918. That's why we still have the flu today. Millions of people died. Back to live comments. He goes, his friend's mom just passed away from COVID. She was a sweet lady, 75. Yeah, really, the elderly and overweight people are the highest risk. Sicilian lady, it's a shame. Yep, no, rest in peace. And I may go to pay respect, but I usually miss funerals. I delivered pizza for her for years. Like I know, David, there's a couple people that you always get that pizza. They order every day. When I was obese, I ordered every day, same spot, Lord. Like on Tuesday, I do pizza. On Friday, I do Chinese, right? So, now same thing probably if you're DoorDashing or if you're getting still pizza delivering, you're going to see the recurring customers like every Friday they do this, every Monday, same people. Those are your regulars. But it's still a blessing. I think for one time in your life, you should overeat a lot. It's just tough to get out of that cycle. But, it's a lot of fun, to eat a lot of shit. And you say, well, you're going to die before your time. I remember when I lost 200 pounds, someone said, man, you just added 10 years to your life. I said, I don't know if I want to do that. Do you want to live till 95 or 85? You say, well, if you're overweight, you only live to 75. Well, it's like, I get that. Look, guys, you don't want to be 75 and say that, but you want to be healthy and enjoy your life. You want balance. Balance very hard. David, you don't want to suffer either. She was the owner of the pizza place, Sam. No, you understand. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Thank you for sharing that story, David. Rest in peace to that lady and everyone, that knew her and her children and her family. Funerals are a shit show, I want to tell you that. The inheritance, the funeral. There's two parts of death. There's the physical death, which is traumatic. And then there's the second wave of death. And I'm not talking COVID. I'm talking funerals, inheritance, dealing with family members, liquidating the assets. Two waves of death. The physical, and then the bureaucracy. Total shit show. Pat Go, what's up, Pat Go? Pat Go's back in Michigan, but still dreaming of Arizona. Why? Because she's more inspired there, and you need to keep the vision in front of you in order not to get too negative. Look, you say, how did you live in your car for 2 winters and New Jersey. How'd you go to Florida and come back to New Jersey? Wasn't easy. You just try to stay positive, and you remember you got to do what you got to do, but it's not easy. You got to keep I watched a lot of Florida videos. Did a lot to keep myself going, and that's what Pat Go's doing, because she had to go back to Michigan for a doctor's appointment. Pat Go. Shout out to Sam, thank you, from a closed steel mill in Frostbite Falls, Michigan. That sounds like a disaster. Frosty, the snowman, is in the house. Well, Pat, I don't know how you do it. You keep a sense of humor and you're positive. Positive people are going to go further in life. You say, well, most people I know are negative. Well, most people are in bad shape. Yeah. So I'm not saying if you're positive, everything else works out, but I'm saying on average, if you're positive, more people want to hire you. If you're positive, more people want to be around you. If you're positive, yeah, you're going to get burnt. But if you're negative, you're going to be the one burning. Okay. And everyone's going to want to get the fuck away from you. So you got to kind of, even me, like, guys, I said to myself, if I would have been a little bit more positive on YouTube, I'd still be growing at a higher rate. Like I say, I can only do what I can do though, guys. So I would tell you that in life, okay, look, they said, I heard someone say today about karma. Do I believe in karma? I mean, I think there's definitely something to the level of energy you put out. It definitely comes back to a certain way. Now, the tough part about that is all of us put out some negative energy, okay? And so it always like, oh shit, that's going to come back to me. But I don't think you should live like that unless you're not trying to correct yourself and get a little bit better and end relationships that make you negative. See, I don't try to keep relationships that make me get upset or makes them get upset, because I respect them, I respect me. The cycle of abuse, and I've seen it, is that two people who continue to argue, they feel bad, they apologize, but then they go back together. And then they argue again because they're not vibing. And then they both feel bad. I don't want to live that life. I don't want to live that life, guys. I don't want to hurt people. But that's karma. And then you worry about, and then you all say some spiteful shit to each other, like that's going to come back to you. I don't think, guys, just leave me alone. I don't want them to come back to you. Leave me alone. Yeah, that's what I'll say. I'm living alone the rest of my life. Doug. A lot of great emojis. Palm tree, beach. You got to bring your energy. You got to show up. Why? 20 minutes. Someone overslept. They're depressed more than ever. I showed up. I didn't want to. Doug, Paco, David, Twister, all fire. Let's do it. 42 people watching. Click the thumbs up. Click the blue join. Bring the energy to the game. All vitamin D emojis. Let's go. What I can tell you is it's a battle, guys, in this world to stay positive. Very much. But here's the other thing we say. Like a lot of people, and I appreciate the comment because it's positive, but it's also negative. What is the comment I'm talking about? A lot of people say thank you because it's hard to stay positive in today's times. Well, I said, how would you stay positive 100 years ago when over 1 million people, 3 million people died from the Spanish flu? There were no job opportunities. There was no electrical grid. There was no cell phone. There was no anything. No pizza delivery. How would you have stayed positive then in those times? We're still living in the best times in relative human history. Never forget that. Why should you tell yourself that? Stay positive. Yeah. While you order DoorDash, you watch me on your Roku. Okay. And you may even be able to order drugs now right to your house, whether CVS or illegal drugs. Yeah. You can get drunk, high. You can trade crypto. You can do all type of shit. You can watch me. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. I'm very much don't do drugs, healthy even, but I understand life, guys. I'm not going to snatch stuff away from people. I'm not bothering anyone. But I want to tell you, remember this when you want to say, oh, these are the worst times, guys. These are some of the best times. Okay? Even in the Bible, they were like, oh my God, it's the end times. And they were living very biblical, okay? They weren't able to write a comment, write a email. They had to carve the 10 Commandments in stone. And then remember when Moses came off the 10 Commandment and all the people were acting crazy? He said, oh, these times are horrible. I hate these people. He smashed the 10 Commandments. He killed 3,000 people, men, women, and children. Moses. Then he had to go back up to the mountain and carve another 10 Commandments. You think you're living in bad times? These are great times. So what I can tell you is even Moses would tell you, these are the best times you've ever seen in your life, okay? Because if Moses could order pizza and not fuck with the crazy people, I'll tell you, he'd be happy as a muffin. Doug, Roommates are a disaster. You ain't lying about that. Our psychopath mentally ill resident tried slashing his own throat. Mentally, it's very tough. I've seen some of that. Stay single. Don't have roommates. Nomad for the win. Look, as long as you're somewhat mentally stable yourself, I believe nomad for the win. Okay. The problem is I've seen a lot of people that are low income and they're not go-getters. And look, their subsidized apartment or their shared apartment sucks, but living on the road is fun initially, but then they cannot handle the discipline of staying on the road. And then they got to figure out how to get back off the road. And that's when they get fucked. So I recognize that subsidized apartments can suck. I recognize that shared apartments can suck. But I also recognize that some low-income people who aren't mentally stable and aren't go-getters, if they end up out living as a nomad, they have fun initially, but then they can't stay on the road. And then they get off the road and they miss not being on the road, but they got off the road several times for a reason. It's not just a win. I mean, it's work. So, look, believe me, guys, I'm an encourager. I always tell people, if you think you can do it and if you have an exit strategy, live your best life, whether it's living in a car, van, RV, whatever. But I can't be a deceiver like Bob Wells and only interview people when they get on the road, not 2, 3, 4 years later when they're living on less than 1,000 and they're not on the road anymore. What happened to those people? And we don't know. I'll tell you, I know what happened, but I say let's stay positive. Doug. Thank you, True Sam, Doug. Have to have a bag. Doug is listening to these damn live feeds, man. This is what I tell every nomad. If you want to live in your vehicle, I'm for it. But you got to have enough money to get off the road, or you got to have a subsidized apartment as a home base. Why? Because if the day comes, pandemic, sickness, illness, too old, whatever, if the day comes when you got to get off the road, you only got two options. You got to have enough money to pay first and last month security or stay in a hotel or buy a house. Or the second option, you got to have a subsidized apartment. Get on the list if you're not on the list. You got to have something to go back to. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want to take more risk, I'm not mad at you, but I don't preach that. I'm not mad at anyone. Guys, do whatever you want. I live alone. Never forget it. So we're all trying to stay positive, whether you're a millionaire, subsidized apartment, whether you're a psycho. Well, I don't know if psychopaths want to stay positive. I don't understand everyone. Don't try to get inside of the mind of the mentally ill. The movie, The Cell, with Jennifer Lopez taught us, never inject yourself as a microscopic cell into the mind of a psychopath because you can't make sense of it. All you can do is have boundaries, or else you yourself are going to go insane and maybe get your throat slashed. Boundary up. Okay. So what I want to tell you guys and girls, do the best you can. I know how this world is. Okay, I'm not trying to hurt people. I know how this world is. Stay positive. Let's take a hydration break. We've been on here for a half hour. Someone says, I'm going to quit. I say, I'm going to show up, take your spot. If you could take care of yourself, there'll be people that go out on sickness, on stress leave, on maternity leave, on I quit leave. And you can hang around long enough, guys, especially in today's times where all you got to really do is show up. Because I tell you, that person that soaked my salad today with that dressing, I said, oh, man, I was upset about that. I was very negative, guys. I was sitting in my car. Now, the guy was a nice guy, so I wasn't, I didn't really feel like it was abuse, like he did it on purpose, but I was upset. And then my mom called, so I call you back because I was negative, and I don't want to bring that negativity on her. And that's like, guys, when I feel negative, I go by myself because I ain't going to put it on other people. I saw a video the other day, guy, too negative. Now, I understand, though, I make videos sometimes to vent too, and I'm glad that he shares. I'm glad that people share when they're upset because it shows the reality of life. So I don't want to say I'm not glad they shared, but it's very tough to be around negativity. And I know I'm human. I give it out, but I try to give it out in these live feeds. In real life, I just avoid people when I'm not happy. But I think it is good that you show the yin and the yang. Because I think if people only make positive videos like once a week, once every other, then yeah, all you're seeing is their best self. Yeah, that's fucking, guys, that's a fucking show. It's a sitcom. Okay. So, Yeah, I could do that, guys. I mean, I could be Seinfeld. You want me to be Seinfeld? I mean, I could do anything. Okay. So, but I'm trying to make this like a real life interaction thing. Okay. Yeah. When you show up every day, you married. Yeah, you all right. But you can cancel at any time. That's a big difference. So I want to tell you. So yeah, again, Twister, I thank you. David, I thank you. Pat, I love you. Doug, I love you. I love all you. And I appreciate you guys and girls showing up. I do. I'm thankful. Look, thankfulness keep you positive, but it's not easy. But remember what you have to be thankful for. Back up. Where's Cartoon Mark? He's got his own problems. He's trying to stay positive in a cold place like upstate New York, which is like Michigan. And look, he's married. His wife, he loves her, but she's not that affectionate. She's very tough. She likes Jeopardy more than she likes him. And he's got 2 kids. They like it. They like each other. But they paint the room and then they fucking doing crazy shit now. They ain't working no more on what they doing. So, Mark's the positive guy, but he can only take so much. But he's doing better. Here's the positive thing about Cartoon Mark. At least he got rid of the tenant, less stress. He's painting more than ever. Very proud of him. He kept his main job. He's not doing things reckless. And he's a guy, I believe the Lord's going to help him because he's positive. Probably listening now. I love this guy. And, he's doing the best he can. It's not easy. He's got a battle he's facing. He goes, is he shoveling snow again? I don't know. He's probably fucking eating unhealthy dinner that his wife cooked. Because he was trying to get in shape. And his wife said, yeah, I cooked baked ziti with extra cheese. I remember when my mom used to do. I love my mom. Thank God she cooks stuff like that. I would never want to have a mother that's very skinny and anal. I wouldn't. Why? Too negative. Fat people are happier. I ain't lying about that. Most of them. Okay. That's true. Because my father was very particular about his weight. And even though, we had food with him, you don't want to be around someone like when I was in my intense losing weight mode, like girls, that's what girls want to do. They want to go out to eat. You wouldn't want to be around me when because I'm not ordering shit. I'm very particular. Like when I was in that weight loss mode, that intense mode. Okay, now I got a regimen. But fat people are happier definitely when you go out to eat. Okay, so skinny people or people trying to really discipline themselves that don't have a high metabolism, because if you have high metabolism, it don't count because you're probably smoking cigarettes, you probably a high blood pressure, you just got high metabolism. So I'm talking about people like trying to stay in shape. They're very particular. They're not fun to be around eating. You want to be around fat people when you eat. But then after you eat, you're going to be like fat people. You ain't going to be able to walk or tie your shoe or clean your ass. I remember that. So you got to be careful who you eat with. Never forget that. Back to live comments. If I miss a comment, please type it again. Why? Because I'm just reading through. I'm trying to get everyone. Don't take it as disrespect. David, sometimes when I order my green smoothie, they don't blend it correctly. That upsets you, I'm sure. And instead of tasting like a smoothie, yeah, it's watered down. I feel your pain, David. I know. That's the negative about eating out. You're not preparing the food how you like, and you don't have just yourself to blame. The positive of eating out is you don't have to cook, clean, and get all the food from the supermarket, then bring it in your place. You take the good with the bad in this world. Twister, laughing. Yeah, because thank you, Twister, for laughing. That's the other thing, David. I got upset today. I said, all right, Sam, what would have been the alternative? Because I had a house. You got a house. You go to the supermarket every Sunday or whatever. You put all this. You don't go to the express checkout. You got all this shit. Put it in your car, and then you put it in the house. Then time you put everything in the house, you want to order food because you're tired. But that's why I got to get a little home base and still eat out a lot. Twister, laughing good. Doug, I won't know, man, until I have 25K back. I think bare minimum, I want to say 5K, but I think really to do it wisely, you need at least 10K in savings to do it wisely. 25K, you're going to live great because you got enough bag where you're good. We have 9 people in the house. Oof. 9 bedrooms. That ain't enough for 9 people. You need about 19. Always times 10. Times 10. Fuck 19. Times 10. You need 90 bedrooms for 9 people. That's how I feel. 5 bath house. Ooh, 2 big house, 2 many people. My room is my domain. Well, thank God you got your own place. At least you don't in that crazy shit. Less interaction, the better. I agree with that. Yeah, it's a crash pad. I know. Sound like a halfway house, man. Work, gym. Yeah. Work, gym, walk in. Stay as much time as you can outside that house, man. Stay positive. Good job. Twister. She likes Jeopardy more than him. Well, I mean, you're listening. I mean, like Cartoon Mark, I know you're listening. We love you, brother. But let's be honest. Cartoon Mark, let's be honest. Does your wife get happier when you come in the door or when she guesses the question on Jeopardy? Yeah, I want to tell you this. You never heard, when you hear his wife howl, it ain't because they're having sex, it's because she guessed the bonus question on Jeopardy. Yeah, she got very excited. When Cartoon Mark come in the bedroom, she's like, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Oh, why you making noise? But when Alex Trebek, when he make a joke, she laugh like that's her best friend. I want to tell you, let's stay positive tonight. Doug, Cartoon Mark, we love Cartoon Mark. Twist up. Sam, I've been wanting to get your opinion on something. My coworker told me about how after her dog died, she got the ashes. Well, I don't like this already. I'm going to tell you what to do. And put them in a little keychain. She's got mental illness, probably have a storage unit, and she probably lives with her mother. When your dog dies, get it cremated and don't even pick up the ashes. Throw away all their stuff. Why? In my experience in life, only those who are mentally ill and not taking care of themselves get their dog's ashes in an urn, keep them, do a vigil. Everyone grieves different, guys. It totally broke me when my dog died. I couldn't tell anyone for 6 months. But I got my dog cremated. That's it. All the memories are in my mind that I need, and I can't look at that stuff every day. What are you, crazy? Nah. I want to tell you, Twister, never date her, never be around her. Why? Because she is a train wreck. That's my opinion. Twister, I kind of thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, it is. And unhealthy. It totally is. But I still respected it. Well, I respect grief, but I tell you, stay away from her. Doug, Starbucks, yeah. Egg bites, yeah. Venti Americano. Doug, talk my language. Doug, you're hitting them hard tonight. Doug, a third the way to the 25K bag. Doug, remember, mitigate risk. Don't put that 25K in a brokerage. Keep that in a savings account. If you want a brokerage account, get a separate account with separate money and don't leverage too much. And always keep a main job. Why? Because if you lost all your money in your brokerage account, you have a main job and you have 25K in savings, you never destitute. All right, guys and girls, you know what it is. 40 minutes we've been on here. Someone slept too late. Someone quit. Someone stopped. But sometimes you have to, so have I, to reprioritize your life. But when you're mature, the reason you work on yourself is so that you can get to a point where you focus on things you want to do, you prioritize your life, and now you are reaping the rewards of some of your disciplines. Okay. And this is why you got to be, when in doubt, don't buy. When in doubt, show up. Why? Because then, worst case scenario, you don't got responsibility and bills and you got more money. I mean, guys, that's not a bad position, okay? But you got to work. You got to live below your means. You got to continue to save, pick up side hustles. All right. Alex Trebek, I'll take $500 for is someone's wife is more excited about dinner than about going to bed with their significant other. And someone is more excited, okay, about, let's stay positive. Let's stay positive. I got negative. I apologize. Guys and girls, I hope my videos help you in some way. If you want to support the channel, click the blue join button. Thank you to all my members. At the very least, click the thumbs up, leave a comment, algorithm of success. Share this video with everyone you know is negative. It's not going to help them. I'm going to eventually get in an argument with them. Why? Because you can't change negative people. Only thing you can change is yourself. So, what have we learned tonight? Don't be around people who their dog dies, they have an urn, they have a vigilant every night, and they drink alcohol, throw up on the side of the building, and they argue with their parents. Why? Because, guys, we respect grief and we respect they do some positive things, but overall, there's a lot of negativity, and we've all failed. I failed. I'm not better than anyone. Either are you. But you got to have boundaries for everyone. Why? Because if you want to keep your positivity, you better have boundaries. Because if not, someone's going to put too much salad dressing in your salad. Your mom's going to call you. You're going to argue with her. If you live with your mom, forget about it. And, now you're in New Jersey because you're scared to leave the area you grew up. You got bad salad. You got bills. You got Everything you hate, that's very negative. Let's stay positive. Keith, love and appreciation back to you, brother. I read your comment last night on my live feed. Me and you are very similar mindset. I want to secure and remain secured in the financial independence. But we got to be careful, though, Keith. We got to make sure if we buy a home base, when in doubt, don't buy. Just be mindful of the community and the area. It's not easy. I do think Q1, end of Q1, Q2, Federal Reserve raised interest rates. But we'll see. We don't know. Keith, I love you. I feel you. Guys and girls, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Twist up, thank you. Keith says, what's up, Twister? Twister says, what's up, Keith? Doug, David Lopez, Pat Go, all my members in the background, ESP's working somewhere. Cartoon Mark, we love you. Everyone out there, I want you to keep pushing forward. One day at a time. I got through another day. Thank the Lord. As best you can. I know sometimes I curse God too. Let's stay positive. I love you.